Hola. Hopefully there will be no echo because I think I figured it out. I outsmarted YouTube. Well, not really. I just hit the mute button on a stream beforehand so that way I don't have to do it after it goes live. So let me check. Let's prove this theory. Yep. I'm learning. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. What's up, Ryan?
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Keeping It Shrimple, episode 31.
Episode 31.
Yeah, it was funny today when I was checking out Brienne's Fish Fam stream, and Dave was on there, and he saw me. He goes, I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? I love shrimp. Papa Shrimp.
Who was it? Gosh. Who was it yesterday? I just seen something. I think it was yesterday. And they were saying something else to kind of try to sound like I love shrimp, but they were saying I love something else. I can't remember what it was. I was like, don't even try stealing. Don't try stealing.
Hey, man, I like it.
That ain't cool.
That means I'm onto something. Hi, Crown Tail.
You've been onto it. You have been onto it.
Frank Basanta. Sandy Farrell. I said hello. Shooter's Range. Johnny. Check. Oh, he's here. Not check. It's here. Jack in the Shrimp Tank. Hello. Poetic Song 725. Missed out Fire Voice. Hello. What's up, Patrick? Robbie is a shrimp.
Jeff King.
And picking up cichlids. Cool. I know it's going to be kind of weird because I think Lucas decided to do a live pond bill at this exact time. So maybe we can get a couple of people to flip back and forth between the two streams. Though it'd be kind of cool at least. But I know he's probably going to draw a pretty good crowd. It's Lucas building a pond live.
Well, yeah, out in the middle of nowhere with nothing but sticks and, bee honey, he's like Indiana Jones, Oh, hey, look, I just sold a big, huge house to move out in the middle of nowhere and a little dinky house, and I'm going to make it sweet. I mean, how is that not interesting? The guy's super talented.
I know. It's fun to watch. Just a little bit he's been showing of getting tanks and putting water in them. I mean,
the house is really cool, though. Like he said, he's really not a city guy. He's a country dude. So a lot of people.
That's what it is. It's from Rob93. That's the hashtag he gave everybody. I get it now.
Rob is shrimp.
Yep.
Patrick Hardy, welcome. Yeah, but that's cool. I like to see that he's doing good. I mean, did you see that one he just put up? What was it last night? He said, I think I found my first gator. Forget you. You can have them. Nope.
Yeah, come on.
Go swim in my pond. What did he say? I'm going snorkeling.
No, thank you.
Hey, that's as bad as, what's his name? What's that dude who kept sticking his hand in his tank with the piranhas in it? A couple years ago, thought it would get a bunch of attention. Look, my piranhas don't bite. Whammo! It got him like the second time from Chattanooga Edge partner.
Oh, Fish Room Fever.
Yeah. He thought that his piranha wouldn't bite. Mm-hmm. Let LRB go in that little pond and go for a backswim, the backstroke, and he's going to get more than the backstroke.
I wouldn't trust it, but hey,
no.
Maybe he's that in touch with nature. He'd be like,
Oh, he's gonna get in touch with the ambulance. That's who he's gonna get in touch with. That's who he's gonna be in touch with. Shoot, nature ain't got nothing to do with that, son. 911, we're coming. Told you. But yeah, it's good to see that he's doing good. That pole barn he's got super cool. And who would have ever thought that that's got to be the coolest thing is probably he'll never use it, but you see that thing's got like a 4.5 ton AC unit outside of it. It's got heat. It's like, man, you might as well just move in there. But yeah, he's got a good little hookup. It's his little oasis.
Oh yeah, that's kind of badass. Oh, that was late. Too late on the delay. Sorry, I missed it. But instead,
I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp?
gotcha.
Yes, you did. I think
what were you gonna say?
It says LRB got a Crocodile Dundee, that guy.
Right?
Yeah. He's gonna get one of those big knives. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Guess he didn't watch that movie, have you? I'm waiting for him to shave his hair off and become Lucas Brett's Eagle Master. Yeah. Hey, I'm just waiting for him to get a sunburn so bad that, he just passes out and he's like, I can't do this anymore. This was the worst idea. We should have moved to Alaska. It's crazy.
Well, hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully
he makes his videos and he's got a hidden towel and he's wiping his face and fluffing his hair. He don't want everybody knowing that he's sweating his balls off down there.
Well, he's got to get acclimated himself.
If you want.
How much? It's almost to the.
I'm putting in the same amount I took out.
What's going on, Dave?
What do you mean? No. Yes.
Already passed.
S.
Look, so much for the egg.
What's going on, S?
Still has to fill up the back. It's not even filling up this right here.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm saying, I took out what I'm putting in.
Okay.
So all you gotta do is just
Look at him.
Okay.
As usual, just cuts out in the middle of the stream.
I am not. It's my wife. It's my wife's fault. I'm messing with the goldfish, and she come over to smack me up. She's like, "What are you doing? You're putting in too much water." I was like, "No, I'm not." Hey, I can't get away with nothing around here.
Gina's Reef, hello. Good to see you. Driving home and lurking. Cool deal. Well, be safe on the road. Don't pay too much attention to us. Just listen.
Hey, that's got to be the coolest thing that I've been doing is, now that I'm not, I don't know if everyone knows, but I'm not working super early mornings anymore. So now I'll be working normal 10-hour days at Amazon. So now I'm going to be at Amazon. So I'll be here every Wednesday now. But what I've started doing was streaming in the morning. When I leave the house at 4:30 to be at work at 6, I would pick somebody's stream and watch it, because I got over an hour to drive to work, so I could always fit in a stream. It's like I wasn't missing anything. It was really cool, And cool. I was even leaving comments, so I was getting people were hitting the heart or the like button or whatever. So. And who was it? Blizzle. I was just on his stream. Well, I just tuned into it yesterday. They're like, where, when are you streaming next? Where have you been? I said, been working. Sorry.
Working. Yeah. Nah, man. I don't know how you do it. I'm too old for that crap.
Hey, the only thing I do is I look at it this way. I have to push until things start to slow up, and when I can't push anymore, and instead of working 84 hours a week, I can only work 72, then it gets down to 60, and I gotta do is, as long as you're young enough to do it, then that's when retirement comes up, when it's hard to do 40, you want to retire. But right now there's so much work. That's why I try to pass along to everyone since I've been on YouTube. But things are so slammed here in Michigan. You can more or less choose where you want to work. Choose where you want to work. And as long as you want to work, they can put 10 jobs up in front of you. You can go, no. Well, wait a minute. How much does that one pay? No. Okay, I'll take that one. Then you can go to a work a day and go, yeah, no, I'll go back to that other one. I like that. That's how packed we are right now. So if anyone needs work, come to Michigan.
That's good.
Yeah, it's crazy. People are really, really, really starting to turn their situations around here. See a lot of smiling faces, but see a lot of people still choosing not to come to work. I just talked to my doctor friend. He's a psychologist. I actually know a psychologist. How you like that? And hey, not joking.
You're so
I know, cuckoo. Hey, but that's how I get answers about stuff. But I was just talking to him today, and he said that he put out ads, to hire people, and he said that people don't even want to leave home. They're content working at home. They don't want to leave that working on the couch, punching on their computer for an extra few bucks an hour. So he says it's super hard just to even get anybody to come to work. So. But, I'm enjoying it. We're doing really good, a lot better than we were the last couple of years, and things are getting back on track again. So I just appreciate everyone holding in there. And, I get a couple subscribers. Just got a new subscriber today. So thank you for all my subscribers out there that have stayed with me and both of us here. And, come see us every Wednesday. I really, really appreciate all your patience because this has been so far pretty long. What's it been, 4 or 5? Almost 6 months now, 5.5 months since I started this. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yep.
So what's new? What's new? What are we talking about today? Number 31.
It was just a simple title to this one because I don't want to really talk about anything specific. Just who else loves shrimp? Got to have the second part to the I love shrimp, which is the who else loves shrimp. So that's what I titled it, so we could have a little bit of fun. I don't want to, be talking about anything specific. I'm having too much fun right now. It's a little bit of an adjustment trying to get used to the work situation and what I'm doing over there while taking care of my tanks over here and the number of shrimp that I have in my tanks now and all the resets that I did. Just trying to make sure I get my processes more consistent. So,
yeah, you don't look so bored and tired now. Looks like you have your purpose back, because your heart surgery really kicked your butt. And I can only imagine. My father got that done. And I don't know if he really suffered from it, but I can only imagine the depression, the sadness that it can cause,
It was rough. I have to admit that it really wasn't until probably like around February when I snapped out of it.
Yeah.
And now I just feel re-energized, recharged. And like you said, I got a better sense of purpose, and it feels good being Papa Shrimp and having fun doing it and just living.
Well, that's
the dream, man.
Yeah, well, that's the crap that happened was, you go start partnership with Jason and then your heart stuff and, and then COVID hit and then, Jason and them got sick and it was just downward spiral of, crap. But the thing is it's daily stuff. It happens to many people. It just ended up having to happen to you guys. And, so it just puts a crutch on a lot of stuff. But it's good to see that, people are coming back and you're getting back into things and, it helps bring awareness to, the hobby, whether no matter what's in the hobby, you're someone that brings more awareness to it, and people seem to like to see people come back to the hobby instead of disappear, so it's a good thing.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that when I go back and look at my video list and I see the progression of just different situations that I've been put into and had to go through, and everybody's been there with me. So especially people like Jeffrey Watts, who's, when we met in Dallas, just talking to him and about I guess the words that he had to me were so much more real other than just, hey, it's good to meet you, Papa Shrimp, and how's your shrimp? And I love shrimp. It was more personal, and it really stuck with me that, wow, people have been paying attention, and hopefully I do bring that awareness that I've dealt with a lot of crap, but I've stayed true to my focus. I've stayed true to shrimp. Crazy as it seems, it's really what has saved me is my aquarium, shrimping, people in the hobby, people like yourselves, my friends like Jason. Just, man, like Mary Page says, it's life-saving. And I'm living proof. And y'all are sharing it with me. So awesome. I love shrimp.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, Mary Page. It's YouTube's really. I mean, I'm sure with a lot of people, I guess it's really helped her out a lot. So, I think it's. I've always said, because my issue was, when I found out I had anxiety and stuff like that, I never knew, so I never talked about it. And that's, I always learned since then was, since when I found out, the most important thing to do is talk about it. And it seems like, it opens doors for her because next thing you know, she's talking about it. Then the next video you see her and she's smiling. Then she's really smiling and laughing, and then she talks about it more. It's just it seems like she's come a million miles already. So
it's definitely therapy. I mean, when I got stuck after I left Ohio, I went into kind of a pretty messed up state.
I would be too if I was stuck in Ohio.
No, well, I was stuck in Arkansas at that time, so it's even worse.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. But so when I was there in Arkansas and I was going through stuff and I stopped really making videos, I wasn't comfortable. I didn't have the money to pay for the software, all kinds of excuses I made up for myself. But I was watching Father Fish. I was watching Jess start her channel and all this stuff. And I started getting involved, and Jess was really one that took hold and started pushing me a little bit. So I started making videos. And then when it came time to make a video about what had happened, where my shrimp was, and I made that video about the story of me going to Flip Aquatics and hanging out with Rich and then coming back and having to start all over. That video was so hard to make and so hard to watch. I watched it with my son first and asked his permission if I could share that story. And we both sat there pretty much in tears watching it. And then he was like, yeah, put it out. So when I did that, man, that was such a, I felt like I needed to tell my story. And the more I have, despite how bad things have seemed at times, I take nothing but positive from everything that has led me to this point. It's helped make me who I am and what I believe in. And I will not stray, I love shrimp, dude. It's so weird.
But is what you're doing the reason your hair's falling out, or is it because of old age?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take both of those for 20, Chuck.
I do what I love, and I love what I do, and that's the way it's got to be. And it's maybe the same thing said two different ways, but I believe it's two different things. So I stick to doing what I love, which is music, shrimping, people, having fun, smiling, laughing, being a goofball, and making friends like you. Much of a pain in the butt you are.
Well, without the pain in your butt, what would you actually have?
Nothing, man. I owe it all to you, Brian.
Well, you don't owe it all, but Hey, I've been wanting to ask you something, but I haven't been able to because I've been working. But there is this incredible musical artist on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ever saw him, and if not, you need to go check this dude out and get your mind blown. He's a single person. He does play with other people. He plays the guitar, but he goes by Dovydas, Dovydas.
Uh-huh.
And he he does sounds like he's got the machines all in front of him, and he makes these different sounds to the music he's doing. And he does this song called what is it, 86 plus in his Maserati or something. But you guys got to check this guy out. He is so crazy good. I was like, oh, I gotta tell him. So check out Dovydas, Dovydas. That guy's incredible. But he's it's really weird because I think he's from Lithuania or something. But yeah. He does.
Yes.
He actually just got a guitar sent in from where they're being attacked over there. And they had to send it from there to Poland. Poland had to send it through another place to get it to the U.S. It took a month to get here. I don't know guitar companies, but there's some big company over there that he got a guitar made, and it's been destroyed by the bombing. Well, I'm just saying, I think you'd really be interested in it. So, yeah, check it out. It's pretty cool. How many 5 gallon? Hong Nguyen. It sounds like this question's been asked before. As many as you can fit in there with luggage. I don't know.
Okay. And that's the very correct answer. But personally, what would you put as your limit that you would keep in a 5 gallon?
I don't know if I would stop it. I mean, well, I don't know. A 5 gallon would probably, I don't know, 50 would really look good. I think, you know, if you have a ton, I mean, it would have to be really planted heavily. You would have to be feeding it and cleaning it, you know, because all the food you have to put it, I don't know, probably 50. I'd probably do 50 and then pull out the others and give them away or sell them to the pet store to pay for more food or whatever.
Doc Anthony, I love myself.
That's hot.
Yeah, good for you. That's a little TMI.
Yeah, he loves his wife. I mean, because he did say in the one video recently that she makes more money than him. So he needs to throw that in there once in a while. So, you know, she keeps him in the will type stuff, you know.
Right.
You know, I'm just saying.
Well, with all of this stuff I've been trying out lately, like showing videos, doing HD, 4K, stuff that hasn't worked, what has worked. Hopefully this time I did it right, and the video that I'm sharing later will show a little bit of some pretty shrimp that I've been looking at and staring at and enjoying. And
talking about videos, I have to make a video that everyone's going to be seeing soon. I actually was going to do it today, and I don't know when I'm going to do it. I'm sure they're going to get really upset with me because I haven't done it yet. But,
are you going to do a video on your new acquisition, or?
No, Higer has asked me. They sent me a light, and they want me to do.
You're one of the cool kids.
I don't know about cool, but they want me to do. Here's the problem I have. They want me to do a product review on fish tank light. Well, if you notice, I have nano tanks. And it's a 30 to 36 inch light. So I took the 30 to 36 inch light and I'm going to do it on my puffer tank because I do have large tanks over there. So I am going to do it on it. I know other people have done it. They just haven't done it like me. So I'm going to do it probably a little different because the type of light that this is, there's reasons that I think it's cool. And there's reasons that I think it's not. So just because you send me something doesn't mean I'm going to say it's the coolest thing in the world. If it's junk, I'm going to say it's junk. Because here's the thing is I got fluvels on there. I have fluval lights. I'm just saying.
You're all fancy.
If they don't, no, that was just me throwing money out the window. That wasn't paying attention. I mean, look, I had aquariums. I had 9 aquariums just on one wall at a time, and I ended up getting rid of all those. Plus, over here, I had I don't even know how many lights. I had to sell them all. But, so I know what a good light does, what it looks like, and stuff like that. But the things that I have learned when it comes to lights, is, and this is going to floor a lot of people, so get ready. You don't have to buy an expensive light to grow a plant. Really? But that is, some information that's been passed around since day one. But you still have the people that say, oh, we have shop lights. They work great. They do. I know guys that use light bulbs, just a light bulb and a little desk lamp to grow plants. It's a proven fact. You don't need an expensive light. But on that note, like I said, I have fluval lights on the puffer tank. So either they're going to look good, just meaning light-wise, not like brightness, but to make it look good, to the eye, or it's going to look like crap. Gonna do soon, so look for that. Like probably, hopefully Saturday, because I think I have Saturday off, so I'll end up doing it Saturday morning. You're just gonna have to show me how to. I have to link their links down for the Facebook and the link to where they can like go and buy it. Excuse me, I just don't know how to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna kick it across the room, bounce it off the floor, because I've dropped my fluvals, dropped them in water, unplugged, but drop them in water and let them sit a day and plug it back in. It works great. So, I mean, I'm not going to drop it in water, but I'm going to give it a good test and let everybody know actually how it is. And we'll go from there. So keep an eye out for that. And then we'll see what they send me next, unless they don't like what I did and I don't get shit. He liked it. Anything else? And actually ask him for the light back. I really want one of them tanks that they sent Mary Page.
Yeah, I know. Those are
that's a bunch of bull crap. See, I'm gonna get two of them. I'm gonna get two. Mary Page is cool. I like her a lot. She's real cool. She's always smiley. Eyes are always squinting because she smiles so hard.
Right there, it says ADA soil. How many weeks before you put shrimp in the tank?
Oh,
I said I've never used it because it's the truth, but I hear it's like 6 to 8 months. So that's why I don't spend the money for it, because I can accomplish the same thing using fluval.
Yes, but ADA soil, what you have to do is you have to cycle ADA soil. ADA soil produces ammonia.
Yes.
That's why this live bacterial liquid, this is one from Blue Crown that we sell, this nitrifying bacteria. This is one of the biggest things that helps, that ammonia. This works better with the substrates that produce ammonia than the ones that don't. This will grow bacteria in your tanks all day long, but if it produces ammonia, there's something that the ammonia does to this to make your tank turn as green as grass, bluegrass grass. I mean, it grows it fast. But ADA soil, you have to cycle because it produces ammonia. So what I was told, if you use the bacteria like this, what does Robbie go? 2 weeks. I want to say 2 weeks, I think it is. Yeah, I got to check into it again, but I thought he said 2 weeks that the ammonia should be down. You just have to test it, test it every other day or every few days. But yeah, the ADA soil, the only reason I don't use it is because it's not around here, so I've never been able to try it. And I don't want to special order it because then you have to pay shipping, and that's a heavy bag. So
yeah, and that's kind of like because of my philosophy of keeping it shrimple, I want to be familiar and be able to share what I learned using the stuff that I know most everybody else is going to be using.
Yeah.
Because what's available to them is what's available to me. I mean, I look at it as from a perspective of a hobbyist.
Yeah, Petco.
Especially because I've had to start over so many times and reset my tanks and, buy shrimp again and, get breeding going and all that stuff. So I have to use what's available to me, the most available to me, and what I can afford. And hopefully it's the same stuff that's available and affordable to everybody else. And then that way I feel like I'm sharing knowledge that is more suitable for people like me, you know, you and me. I think we're just trying to keep shrimp and whatever our favorites or, whatever strains. That's the fun part of it. I leave the expert stuff to the experts because I definitely don't feel like I'm an expert. There's a lot of young bucks out there that know way more than I do.
As in deer or
Peoples.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm no expert either. I just, I don't know. I think that there's a point where there's too much. You can have too much. I mean, if you have, 150 tanks, 200 tanks of shrimp, I think it's too much. You can only do so much.
Oh, I know. And that's what I've learned over the period of time is that I have 30 something tanks, and it's a lot. Jason has at the shop 70 something tanks, and it's a lot. And then at home, he had 100 plus tanks. So it becomes completely overwhelming depending on your system, your processes, your job, your life, because every time you call me, what do you say? What are you doing? What's my answer?
It'd be, I don't know. Sometimes it's resetting tanks, but usually it's always, water changes or tank maintenance. It's never sitting on the couch watching TV. It's always, that's what it is. Working on my tanks, on my tanks. It's always that Texas working on my tanks.
Oh man, I don't have. Never mind. I was just about to say I ain't got no accent.
Working on my tanks. Man. Yeah. Well, Jeff, I'm not saying too much, but there is, some stuff is too much. There's a couple people out there that have way too much. I mean, there's no way that one person can do it all. So to me, they're not being taken care of properly. But that's neither here nor there, nor is it any of my business. So
and that's kind of for my own personal satisfaction or standards. I feel like I've been slacking, and that's why now I'm trying to do more and stay on top of it more for the health of my pets, because I want to share, and it does me no good to peddle sick shrimp. It does me no good at all in any way, form, shape, fashion, just none. Yeah. So that's why I'm taking it really, I'm learning. This is my first time stepping into the big ponds. And so I'm learning as I'm going to make sure that everything is going right. So I appreciate everybody's patience, but again, you've helped me a lot. And everything that I've learned, so has Joe and Eric and Rob and Grant. And, I've gotten my shrimp from all of you guys at any one point in time. And so some of the colonies that I have are from you guys. So
you got my shrimp from any of them.
You're an ass, though.
No,
I spread the love.
I haven't had that opportunity yet. I tried to get LRBs. I missed I forgot when I was at Aquashella, and then just before he moved, I started working a bunch, and I was going to order his stuff, and I never. And then I don't know. Then I got that, but in the back, when I started, I got. I met Robbie with Blue Crown, and I didn't need to go anywhere else. Everything I wanted, he had.
It was love at first sight. Oh.
Well, no, and then stuff that no one had, he had. So I just thought, well, I got stuff that no one has, or that's just coming out. I already got it. So I just never. Had a chance because I was getting so much just from Blue Crown, and then I just said, what the heck, I'm here, I might as well just stay here. So I just keep my business there. Like I only sell to one store. Because if I sell to, let's say, 5 stores within a 5-mile radius, everyone's going to suffer. not one store is going to be able to sell out. They could be sitting on shrimp for a month or two because the store closer to the expressway is getting all the business, and no one's driving 2 more miles in town when they can stop at this place, get everything so I only deal at one place, so they can only go to his store. So it's just being loyal, I guess.
Well,
and
and maybe that's kind of like with Jason, now that my shrimp will be available on his site.
Yes, sir.
And so I've been thinking about that, about how I'm going to do stock my tank and do Jason. Well, I think with the way I want to set it up, mainly I'll keep on stock my tank is all of my colonies that I've been working on for a long time, like my red fancy tigers that I don't have available even on my stock my tank yet, my galaxy fish bones, and my extreme blues, and then everything else go through Jason. That way it's a kind of, you go to stock my tank, you can get this, and you go to Jason, you can get everything else.
Oh, hey, did I tell you that I made a sale off of Get Gills the other day?
Rob 93, what's up? Rob is a shrimp. You told me that. You told me the other day.
I set up Get Gills. It was still under Detroit Shrimp. So somebody ordered 2 red fish bone, 2. So I sent them 4. Just because
that's cool.
If you can only afford 2, I've been there. 4. 3 or 4 I sent, but I was like, and plus they were the first one ever to order off of Get Gills. So I went on Get Gills, figured out reset my password, got on there and changed the name over, changed a few things, but it still only has 1 picture, 2 pictures, red fish bone and fire red shrimp. Other than that.
Well, Gina asks, Papa Shrimp, do you just use fluval dirt or do you cap with sand too? It depends, because I'm starting to really like the mixture of sand and fluval or any other of my active substrates. So it's heavier with the fluval in my Caridina tanks, or completely fluval, and my Neo tanks, it's a combination. Like I'll put a little bit of fluval and cap it with mostly sand, just because I like the fluval, and I don't think it's enough to bring the pH down or strip the water of its substrate or of its minerals. Just a little bit, or like I said before, when I first started, I didn't know any better. I saw got to get this plant and shrimp substrate, and I said, ooh, perfect, because I want to grow plants, and I guess I want to keep shrimp too. So I bought it, and I kept all my Neos in fluval and never had an issue one. But again, I had DFW water with a pH of like 7.8, and TDS was usually around 450, 500 coming out of the tap, highly chlorinated. So I figured the fluval kept everything about neutral, which it did. When I checked pH, it was running about 6.8, which is fine for Neos. And I would supplement with the GH, KH minerals every once in a while when I did water changes, especially.
Dan Slee, I remember Dan would put the soil in the back, and then towards the front he would start to blend sand in, but in the first 2-3 inches it was a very thin layer of sand, and it looked real cool. But I said, why do you got it like that? He's like, so when I feed, if they don't eat it all or whatever, I gotta go in there and vacuum it up. He's like, what if I vacuum up some sand? Big deal. That I just go like this, drop it back in there, I got brand new sand in that little spot again. So you're not tearing up the substrate. But if you cap fluval or something with sand, it's good, for plants and stuff, for put anything that roots in there, that's really good for it, and the sand, people won't really know what's underneath it, and they'll be a little suspicious of why your plants grow so well.
Well, here's an example of, and not in this picture, but in coming up pictures, how I mix sometimes sand with fluval, even in my my Caridina tanks. Um, like I said, I like it. I like the look, and sometimes like these PRLs, they're just beautiful on this substrate. The white and the red stands out. Here's the fancy red tigers I've been working on. Special project there. I'll show later on in this little video. There's a really good shot of a buried mama. Lots of good.
Do you get these from Robbie?
No, these fancy red tigers actually I got from Grant. Garden of Eden.
Okay.
Got them like a year ago. Before Aquashella.
I like the ones with the, the white stripes, the Adidas stripes. My Adidas.
There's some PBLs that I have. Again, the PRLs, PBLs will be listed on Jadwin Aquatics, hopefully in the next couple of days. So you can start getting some. Here's my fish bones in a mixture. That's
whatever.
Black sand and fluval. What'd you say?
So whatever, dick.
Here's some blue dragon bloods again, and a little bit of a mixture. There's more fluval than there is sand, but those dragon bloods are beautiful. Oh. Don't be jealous, Brian.
I got buttloads of them.
I know you do. You've been rubbing it in my face for forever.
I have not.
Here's the original fancy red tigers that I pulled the other ones out of. I selectively culled them for breeding and put all the ones that I thought had better colorations and stripage and
that's terrible.
Oh, shut up.
No, I get them too. Yeah, it's just you
those are the lower
end.
Yeah, and then here's some super red crystals. Some royal blues.
Royal blues. You can't misconstrue the orange-eyed royal blue tigers. When you see a royal blue, you know that it's not an orange-eyed blue tiger. You know it's royal blue.
Definitely.
Yeah. If you got good quality, you know it.
I just love these things. Those eyes sticking out. Jody. Oh, I don't know if anybody remembers Amityville Horror. Those are some snowballs. Those are some orange neos.
Your camera didn't catch the color of those. It's hard to sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I know they're way more orange than that. It's just
they are. There's my extreme blues. And those I moved out from. I showed you a picture of the tank that I pulled them out of. It's got some kind of weird algae growth, but I'm keeping it that way so I could do a reset video on that tank. And here's close-up shots of that buried fancy red tiger.
See those triple stripes in the back. You see that a lot on what are those shrimp called when they got that?
Nancy's.
Yeah, and the knots. Yeah, whatever. That when they got the bow tie on, but it makes me think of the Adidas tennis shoe, even though they're a white shoe with black stripes. It's still, I think that's cool, super cool part. If the shrimp doesn't have everything else, if it has those three stripes in the back, I think that's super cool.
Yeah, and that's why, even the babies, I saw the patterns and colorations. I was like, I'm going to give them a chance and pull them out too and see what they end up growing up. But
yeah, because look at the legs, how colorful they are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that in a lot of shrimp.
Yeah. It's almost a spider leg pattern. So I'm interested to see what her shrimplets look like, because they should be colored up even more than she is. And they got a little bit of that galaxy pattern on the cheeks.
Yeah.
Some of them look almost familiar, like they got the spot like the dancing man, but it's not a dancing man, but they have that spot like it does.
Yeah.
Really cool looking. So I'm really interested in these, and that's why I haven't sold them. I've been working, like I said, I've been working on these shrimp for over a year. Of breeding them, culling them, separating them, letting them grow out. They're sweet. I mean, just look at that color on her when she turns in the right way. It's like, ooh, hopefully the next batch are even darker pigmented red. Depending on the daddy, I would assume.
I saw a video the other day. A guy went to the store and bought a lobster. And it's an old video, but he went and bought a lobster at the store. You know, where people go to get it to eat it. He went and got it, brought it home, and put it in his fish tank.
Sulawesi, right? That's what you want in a pH of 8.
Yeah. You can, yeah. Yeah, 8.0.
He was asking, man. Help him out.
No, it says at Papa Shrimp.
Well, that's why I confirmed and asked you.
Oh, I didn't hear you ask me, but yeah. Sulawesi are, I mean, Neos can go in it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sulawesi or Neos are made for it. The only thing with putting Sulawesi in there, you have to keep a heater. So, I mean,
it's over. That was weird. Cool. So what'd you think? Pretty sure.
It was cool. Yeah, I got to start getting videos. My tanks are doing really good, especially for having the filters shut off for a week and a half now. No air. No. No one knows. I did an LRB and shut everything off. The electric bill is just, I'm trying to cut it down so I don't have to get rid of anything. I don't have to get rid of anything, but,
Yeah, I'm saving on electricity. See what's behind me.
When you have a pool and all, and all summer you run the AC and stuff, I have to run dehumidifiers because the water evaporates and everything. So I'm trying to save money. So first I cut the lights down and I almost never run the lights. 2, I stopped doing water. I think I'm on 5 months, no water changes, just top offs. And now I shut the air pumps off like a week and a half ago. Everything's just doing just fine. So now I don't have those pumps running no more. It's just like LRB says, it's super quiet. Everything's doing really good. Shrimp are getting buried left and right. I know,
but see, unfortunately for me, I have grown very, very accustomed to the white noise of my aquariums.
Oh, I got a 125 gallon. That's my headboard for my king size bed.
I'm addicted to it. So Jason, I think he kind of chuckles to himself because he's always told me, hey, man, if you want to put a radio in here or something, so that you don't have to, you can listen to music while you're working, go ahead. But I sit in there the entire Monday and Tuesday that I'm there in the fish room listening to the bubbles bloop, 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 while I'm packing and catching and packing and taping. To me, that's my zen. That's my...
believe me, I didn't get rid of the bubble noise. I have 2 sponge filters in my 125, a FX6 on there that just blows the world around. I got the puffer tank over there with a big sponge filter in it, a hang-on back, and a Fluval canister filter. I got the 32-gallon BioCube that, we have air running in. But, I need to save money. And not just that, I'm trying to bring more information to the hobby for people that, maybe can't afford to have, tons of stuff running also. And they need to cut corners.
Right, exactly. So you want to be able to share what you're learning.
Right.
By doing what you're doing. Yes, I agree 100%. And that's, like I said, that was the biggest about the house fire was after the fact. I lost some fish, and me and Jason saved the majority of the stuff that was downstairs in the garage, but the stuff that was in the tanks that I just didn't mess with for 2 months upstairs, and to see all the stuff that lived, and I was sitting there going, I just spent all of this money on filters, canister filters, air pumps, air lines, all kinds of stuff that I'm running, CO2, and I didn't need any of it.
Yeah.
Wow. And that was when I was like, okay, Lucas, you converted me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, there was always a fear. I mean, I've tried his stuff before. I've done videos on it. I knew it worked, but I've just never like shut my tanks off and just said, you know what? That's it. I'm doing it. That's it. And
well, here's a good question to add on top of that one. What's a good supplemental food for shrimps and ram's horns in soft water? And my perspective on foods, shrimp foods, is they're all supplemental, all of them, every single bit of it, because since overfeeding seems to be a majority of the problem and issues that people have, whether they have fish, shrimp, or anything else, if you consider the shrimp foods as a supplement versus a daily 2-3 times a day, whatever the case may be that you have at home, just consider it a supplement. They should have an environment to where they are surviving off the bacteria, the little critters, the algae, and everything that's in a natural environment. There's never any time in the natural environment where there's people throwing food in to feed the fish and shrimp and critters living in the streams. You know what I mean?
I think I feed once a week now.
Yeah.
Here's the thing is you can't feed if you're not doing water changes, and especially if you're not running a filter. I mean, you can't feed like you used to. Right. So I've cut back so much, and I'm just like, look, if you guys want to live, you have to do what you do in the world, out in the wild. You have to eat your algae and your bacterias and, all that stuff. The good days of me feeding you steak and eggs every day is
right.
You guys ain't working. You guys ain't doing nothing.
You ain't hustling enough.
You ain't hustling. But no, it's very calming to know that I don't have to rush home and do water changes. It's very calming to know that all I have to do is make RO water, and then my wife will come down here, run the hose to all of them, and top them all off. I don't have any worries about anything. The only thing I'm trying to do is now show people in the hobby, if you keep small nano tanks and you have plants and they're they got the right stuff in them, you can shut them off, and let the plants do what they're supposed to do, and maybe not run. One little air pump isn't going to hurt anything, but when you got the 2 huge air pumps like I got, all these stinking lights, it runs that bill up. So like I told you, I more or less am pulling the plug slowly. I'm pulling it here, I'm pulling it there. And, believe me, if at any point I see a negative response, it'll go back to the way it was. But, a week and a half now, the shrimp are actually getting buried. Now I can't say faster because it is starting to warm up outside and they know this. So I can't say, oh, well, it's because of that. Because what if it was going into winter right now? Then, but no one's, nothing. Everyone's all out. They're scavenging. They're doing shrimp stuff all over the glass. It's just a beautiful thing to see that the hobby can go even further for less and less and less. You don't have to go, oh man, God, I got to buy a filter, or God, I have to do this. Or now I'm not saying if you have a big tank like my 125, I got a FX6 on it. We just put a new pike in there. So we got rid of all the discus today, and I got a super cool pike. We're
basically what you're saying that a lot of it depends on what you're keeping as far as plants, substrate, and livestock, and what you're trying to get out of it. Like if you set up a display tank in your living room, with nice fancy plants and really cool fish, you're going to run it like a normal aquarium. But your fish room itself, if you have the right mosses and everything going, because they're cycled and established tanks, you can get away with turning everything off because it's a thriving natural ecosystem that's in that tank already, right?
And without the studying and help of certain people like Lucas Bretz, it just, I never would have known, and I mean, look at all the things you're told all these years about tanks that were never true. And some that were, but then you got a guy that's got a whole fish room that's shut off. And I used to ask myself, is he just shutting them off before he goes live? But then I'm like, wait a minute, he don't have filters on there. And I'm like, oh, but he's got sponge filters. Then all of a sudden the sponge filters are all gone. And it's like, so this guy's the real deal. He's not shutting nothing off because there's nothing to shut off. So, it's good to get information that's true and that doesn't lead you down a rabbit hole, because I did what everyone said on YouTube when I started. Don't listen to the first guy who says it, or girl. Go ask somebody else, then ask somebody else, ask somebody else. If 5 people say the same thing, there's a good chance that it's true, or they all know each other and they're lying to you. But so, it's just, I've been watching Lucas. He's been preaching this for years, and I've been in this for over 2 years, and I finally just said, forget it, I'm doing it.
I have to admit that there's a little bit of still, it's my security blanket to do these things the way that I've always done them. So,
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm learning it, and like I said, it takes things like what happened to me look at my tanks and go, wow, they needed absolutely none of what I just did and spent on my aquariums, and they can still live. Now, is that the best environment? No, they probably needed a little bit of lights and stuff to help the plants produce more and absorb more, but they did okay. I still had survivors that moved on from that and still have them, So I believe that, yes, I know I can get away with it just like you and turn everything off and probably save me a little
fear, though. It's a fear, though, because it's kind of like it was been beaten in your brain since you were a child and getting to the hobby that, well, you got to have this filter because it builds up bacteria, and that's what keeps everything alive in the tank. And without it, oh no,
everything's going to die.
Everything's gonna die.
Even said today earlier, he said that you can have an aquarium with no substrate and no filtration, and it'll still be okay.
Look up something fishy in Ohio, and you turn his videos on, and he shows his whole store. Not one tank in his whole store. This guy's got to have, I don't know, a couple 100 tanks, and every one of them is bare as can be, packed with fish, and not a nothing is in the substrate. No substrate, no nothing. Clean as can be, and healthy fish. So it's just
a lot easier to glass vac. You just stick the siphon in there.
Yeah,
everything's gone.
When he streams in the morning, he walks around with the marker and he'll mark on. He'll like lose track, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just marking. I seen a little algae on this one. I marked it so that my employees can clean it." I'm like, "Wow, that guy's got OCD and stuff, But it's just beautiful to see his store. But I just more or less said, you know what? I just got to quit being afraid, and I just got to do it. I mean, look, if I see something going wrong, my wife's here. She knows what to look for. If I see anything struggling, anything. I'll do something about it. And I mean, it's really weird. Even the shell dwellers are loving it. I mean, it seems like everyone is just, and then the bacteria that grows at the top, they're just all up under that and just munching it. I'm like, man, look at all that free food I'm giving them.
Let's see something.
I love shrimp.
No, I'm looking over here because I was trying to make sure, I haven't looked on the YouTube side, because on the StreamYard side it doesn't light up in orange. No.
What?
And I know we've been talking away, and I want to make sure we didn't miss any questions. But
Hey, I
Yeah,
think
so you don't need to worry when the power goes out in Florida. Okay, again, I think a lot of it, I'm a victim of it myself. We had a power outage several years ago. I had, like I said, 26 aquariums in my bedroom, and everything was running off of sponge filters, whether they were double sponge filters or Matten filters, but everything was running off of sponge filters and canister filters. So I freaked out when we had a power outage. Ran down to Walmart, bought me a bunch of those little bait bubbler things that are portable with batteries. And I bought a butt ton of batteries, and I went home and I hooked it up and got all my tanks going with some air. And 17 hours later, it ended up being, I lost maybe 1 or 2 shrimp, and I would think more from me messing with the tanks and sticking my hands in there and anything else, because I freaked out. So power outage. If it's,
I think the biggest thing to be afraid of is, like you're saying, canister filter, hang on backs and stuff like that. Your bacteria can die in it. So make sure, just out of experience, Luke unplugged the FX6 probably, I don't know, 2 months ago by accident, because he plugged his iPad in, and he unplugged the FX6 because he wasn't thinking, and the plug is on my side of the bed. Well, when he was done, he didn't plug it back in. So the next day, I work all night. The next day I get up, and I'm sitting there on the side of the bed getting ready to stand up. I was like, man, it's kind of quiet in here. But the FX6 like shuts off every few hours to kind of like reset itself and burp itself, any water and stuff. So I'm thinking, well, maybe it's shut itself off. It's resetting itself. So I sat there for about 3 minutes, nothing. I looked down at the plug, it was unplugged. My first thing that I should not have done was said, oh my gosh, I have to plug this in. And I plugged it in, and what happened was all that dead bacteria got blown into the tank. So I immediately, before getting ready to go to work, I had to let the filter run, but I did a huge 20% water change really fast. Changed it until I come home again, then do another water change, because all that ammonia and stuff, all that dead stuff, blew into the tank, and I had discus. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just thinking, I got $1,100 in discus in here, oh my gosh, they're going to die, but then it happened again. The power went out. So the FX6 has a plug in the bottom, literally a drain. So I unplugged the filter when the power went out, and I said, you ain't getting me again. So I undid the hoses, I unplugged it, did that drained it all out, then picked it up, carried it over, rinsed everything out, rinsed all that dead junk out, then hooked it all back up, fresh water, started it back up and go. Well, look, bacteria is dying, but everything in the tank is still alive. So the tank's packed full of bacteria. So, okay, now the filter's rinsed out. Still has bacteria. Not everything's dead, but probably 50%, 60%. But that would be my only fear, only because it happened to me. If you have sponges in your tank, no fear. If you got hobs or canisters, yes, unplug them, rinse them out, and then put them back on and get them going again, because you don't want all that dead stuff blown in the tank. But other than that, sponge filters, look, I'm taking the sponge filters out of the tank as I work on them. So I just did a couple big orders. So as I go to pull the shrimp out, I take the sponge filter out, put it in a bucket. And then once I'm done, I think I did 12 tanks. When I went through, then I took them over and washed them all. So now I got like used sponge filters to sell, dual sponge filters that look like they're made or they were put in yesterday. But I'm just taking them out as I go. So yeah, power outage, sponge filters, no fear. Power outage, hang on back or canisters, unplug, rinse out, restart. That's my lesson learned.
The biggest thing that I could say is that the more plants you have, the more secure you can feel.
That's like the biggest thing. But yeah, I mean, but still with a canister or hang on back, I don't care how many plants you got. You go blow all that death back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you unplug it, shoot, you might as well leave it unplugged. But I don't know. I don't think I could ever walk away from a filter on a big tank, like the 125. It's just, I don't know. It's something with watching the water flow and blow around in there. I kind of feel like I'm in a stream.
Now, okay, so let's say you start selling a bunch of shrimp and you're, in and out of your tanks a lot, and you're wanting to do a lot of water changes. Are you going to ever feel like, hey, maybe it's time that I start using filtration again to help me, since I'm in and out of my tanks so much, instead of less getting in and out of your tanks as it is now?
It's what?
Well, I mean, whether it's taking water out to put them with the shrimp that you're shipping and stuff like that. So like if you do 10 orders out of a tank in a week, and then you just top it off, and you're getting in and out, will that change as you start maybe like I said, selling more to where you can afford it a little bit more to run filters a little bit more efficiently if you find the need? Or do you think once you make the break, you'll never go back?
If I was making the money to pay the electric bill, I'd still be running the filters. But the fact of what I learned is, if you got 10 gallons, this is what I learned a while back from pros, old people that are doing. If you have 10 gallons of water and your tank is cycled, you have 10 gallons of cycled water. If you take out a gallon, or let's say a half a gallon to do orders, you take out a half a gallon and ship it in bags. You go to replace that half a gallon. You're going to have, well, let's say 8.5, because you have substrate in there. Let's not forget that takes up room. So let's say you take a half gallon out, put it back. Well, you have 8.5 gallons of water in that tank that's cycled and full of bacteria that can cycle that new water quickly. Now, if you take out 50% and put in 50% fresh water, now you only have 50% of water that now has to fight harder to turn that fresh water into cycled water. So that's why when you do no filters, you don't want to do such a huge water change, because you can crash that cycle. But yes, you are correct. If I was busy enough and made enough money to pay my bills that it's running up, then I would have the filters on it running 24/7. Because just running the dehumidifiers, I think it said it's $17 a month for each one. And I got two of them. So that's $34, $35 right there for two things to run, because these evaporate. Now you say, well, Brian, do you have lids? Well, no, because there's another few $100s that I have to spend on that plastic to cut it and put all over this stuff. And then those are going to get dirty. The mold's going to grow in those slots. Shut but it's all going to grow. It doesn't matter. Lids cause problems, cause issues. It's more work, more work, more work. I'll cry. It's my party. And if I if I can save money and run them dehumidifiers, I will. If I could save the money and use it somewhere else, I will. But if I, for some reason, got so busy that I was taking out that much water, then I would probably put sponge filters back in. My tanks
like I said, I think it depends on your personal needs or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. And it is a security blanket. It is very good marketing that they have done over the years.
For sure.
That's why I listen to Father Fish sometimes when he goes on his rants and he's talking about it, and it infuriates him.
He's angry, doesn't he?
Yes, because he's been dealing with it for such a long time. And, I think that's part of the whole thing, is that with his store, he was trying to show people, you don't need any of that. Look, I got hundreds of dirted tanks. You want me to sell you dirt? I'll sell you dirt.
In a bag
in your backyard, but
yeah,
so he went through all of that stuff, and that's where I kind of look at it that I don't know. We have been bamboozled a little bit by all of the big companies and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm not going to run you down that path, just like you wouldn't either if you don't try it and do it for yourself first.
Right. I mean, if there was 50 LRBs, now I don't think people would stop, but if I could pan over and show you guys some of these tanks, they are beyond crystal clear that I don't know what type of filter would have to be used to get them so crystal clear. But
how do you put people on a timeout? I've never done that.
Shrimp Jeannie Riff says she can't chat in the chat. She's been in a timeout for the last 30 minutes. Could you make sure it's not on your end? Yeah, I don't know who could have done that. Who's do we have moderators in here?
Yes, I'm going back to here it is. The YouTube side. No. It's not on timeout at all on my end. Did you do it?
I'm not a mod. I can't even make a comment over here.
Sorry, Gina. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's Joseph Stanley. Blame everything on Joseph Stanley. I could do that because he's my buddy.
Yeah, I can't even make comments on my side. All I say is
you did it. Please and thank you. Smash the like button. Yes, please do.
I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp?
And just so you know, that's not my voice. I took it off of a sample of a TV show. Jason was like,
I was going to say it's
about that. I thought that was
show, but it's not Archie Bunker.
No.
For a minute, I thought it was Archie Bunker.
Maybe Eduardo has her blocked like he has me blocked, says Doc Anthony. Wow. It's 8:11, man. Time flies. Next thing you know, it's past the hour mark. And I appreciate everybody hanging out, even all of you coming in and watching, even though Lucas was streaming live, or maybe still is. I don't know. But thank you, Brian, for showing up. Made this episode 31 of Keeping It Shrimple kind of awesome. Had fun. Good time. As usual.
Yes, sir.
But everybody, thank you for hanging out. All the rewatch crew, moderators.
Oh, hold on. I didn't get to say what I wanted to say earlier.
Everybody, no, go ahead.
I saw something really funny by a subscriber we have. I'm not going to say his name, but somebody put on one of the shrimp talk things today that said, hey, I ordered shrimp and I have my tank. Is there anything that I need to know about taking care of shrimp? And the first person was one of our subscribers, and they said, yeah, you should have found this out before you ordered your shrimp. Hello? I ordered shrimp. Is there anything I need to know about taking care of them? Yeah, you should have figured out what you needed to do to take care of them before you ordered them. How do I take care of shrimp? That's what you should have did. Not, hey, I just bought shrimp. They're at my door. How do I take care of them? So I thought that was probably the best answer I've ever heard in my life.
That's crazy.
And I would say his name, but I don't know if he wants me to. God, them CPDs are beautiful. I can't wait to start breeding. They're all out going, hey, what about us? What about us? But so I wanted to give it to you guys because I thought that was. It's like is that a dumb question? I ordered shrimp. What do I need to know? What are
the part of what do I need to know to take care of shrimp is not a dumb question. The addition of I just ordered shrimp makes it kind of invalid as an appropriate question. You should have figured that out first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing, and it's not just with shrimp. It's with all fish. I mean, it's kind of like ordering discus and you don't have a heater. It's like, oh my God, they're dying. Why are they dying? Or ordering rabbit snails and they don't live. Why are they dying? Well, do you have a heater? A heater for what? Well, they have to be in warm water or they'll die. No one told me that. Oh, you didn't look it up? No, look it up where?
Unfortunately, that's the downside to the hobby and people that get in. And unfortunately, the people that sell, And honestly, if you buy shrimp from somebody or fish or plants and you don't know how to take care of them, don't ask everybody else. Ask the person you bought them from. Apparently, you trusted them in the first place to spend your money with them. So go to them.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, not that I won't help if I can, but in situations, I'm sitting there going, well, you're beyond help because you didn't research it first. So go to whoever you bought them from.
This is
now,
no
if you buy
joke.
them from me. I'm going to tell you should have learned what you needed to do first.
This is no joke. I had a customer order Carradina shrimp for me, probably, I don't know, a year and a half ago. Ordered Carradina shrimp. Did not have a Carradina tank set up. Had no Carradina substrate. Nothing. Didn't have GH Plus. Didn't have an RO machine. Nothing. And ordered a whole order of Carradina shrimp. I was like, what? So I sent GH Plus, sent everything just so these shrimp wouldn't die. And as far as I know, they never die. I don't know about to this day, but somebody ordered shrimp, Carradina shrimp, and didn't even have a tank set up. So, yeah, raccoon shrimp. Yep. I have some from Grant, and I just don't know much about them, and I can't find any information. Do they breed with other Carradinas? Yeah, I mean, raccoon shrimp are just another type of Carradina. I know a guy who sells them. Yeah, it's pretty bad that you don't have any information on shrimp that you got from Grant Eater.
I'm sure Grant has the information, and maybe he's got so much information it's still all stuck in his head. But because he does know quite a bit. I will not lie, but he may know so much that he can't get it all listed on his website with the 5,000 different strains of shrimp that he has or whatever it may be. I asked him a question about RO water and tap water, and then when I was thinking about it and they were talking about all the tubs, and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think about the 20 million gallons of water. So that's a whole different level of shrimping that, I don't even touch with my pinky toe. So I don't know enough about raccoon shrimps because I haven't had any. I did it for one time that I got from Jason, but I didn't have my tank set up and I hurried, and of course my shrimp perished in that situation, which sometimes happens. But I'm sure Grant has the information. Just jump on his live stream and ask him. He'll be able to rattle it off his head a lot faster than putting it in an email or updating his website.
Yeah, I'm almost 100% positive they'll breed with other Carradinas. The only ones that don't are like Babalti shrimp, Soloaces, Amano shrimp, stuff along those lines. They won't breed with Carradina. So you can mix.
I know the Babalti won't, right?
No, you can mix Carradina and Babaltis together. You can mix Neos and Babaltis together. They have different sexual organs. But yeah, raccoons. The one thing about raccoons is you got to look at certain places because some places they're they're kind of expensive. I'm not saying you can't get them, but they're hard to get sometimes.
How's your car warranty? You don't get those phone calls?
Oh, no, that was my brother. Probably calling me about work, giving me directions. So I got to get directions.
We love shrimps. Well, that one little question or thing you had to say got us on here a little bit longer. Was that your intent? Was that your intent, man, to make us go a little longer?
Nope, I actually have to get off. I got to take care of some stuff, so.
Now you're ready to
I get directions to work tomorrow. I don't know how to get there, and there's no address because it's a brand new building with no address. So.
Oh yeah, that's why your brother was calling.
Yeah. So I got to take off. So
All right. Well,
see you.
cool deal. Anyways, like I was saying before you kindly interrupted, was goodbye, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. We love you much. Keep it shrimple. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
All right, shrimp.